Today, we are diving into what might be one of the most masterful and high-stakes speeches in all of ancient literature. We're going to break down the anatomy of Judah's incredible plea to save his brother's life. So let me ask you something right off the bat. Could you save someone's life with just one speech? I mean, really think about it, because that is the exact life or death challenge facing our guy, Judah.
Okay, so the scene is just incredibly tense. You've got Judah, one of 12 brothers, and he is standing in front of the second in command of all of Egypt. His goal? To save his youngest brother, Benjamin, from being thrown into slavery. But here's the kicker, the huge twist. Judah has no idea that this big-shot Egyptian official is actually his brother Joseph, the same brother he sold into slavery all those years ago. So how does he kick things off? With, what sounds like incredible respect. He says, "Please, my lord, let your servant appeal to my lord, and do not be impatient with your servant." On the surface, it's all humility, right? But is that what's really going on here?
To really get what's happening under the surface, we need a guide. And our guide is going to be Rashi, this brilliant scholar from the 11th century. Think of him as our expert commentator, a guy who was a total master at finding the hidden meanings, the real conversation happening between the lines.
And right away, Rashi spots something. He hones in on that phrase, "do not be impatient." And he's like, whoa, wait a minute. He says that behind all that polite language, Judah was actually speaking with some serious heat. He was coming in hot, with this edge he was barely even trying to hide. And that tension, right? The tension between what he's saying and what he means, well, that's the secret to this speech's power. It is an absolute masterclass in diplomacy, veiled threats, and just brilliant strategic communication. This whole dynamic builds to this incredible peak in one key phrase. At first glance, it just sounds like a nice compliment. You who are the equal of Pharaoh.
Now, get ready for this, because this is where it gets amazing. Rashi breaks this one little phrase down into 3 totally different messages, all being sent at the exact same time. First, yeah, there's the compliment on the surface. You're as important as the king. Simple enough. But then, layer 2. It's a warning. He's basically saying, hey, remember what happened to the last pharaoh who messed with my family? He got leprosy for messing with my great-grandmother Sarah. You want that? And then boom, layer 3, a straight-up threat. You push me, and I will take you and your boss, Pharaoh, down. A compliment, a warning, and a threat, all packed into just a few words. Absolutely brilliant.
But Judah's not just relying on these hidden threats. He's also building a really careful, calculated case by retelling the story of how they even got into this mess in the first place. Rashi points out that Judah kicks off this part by pretty much blaming the ruler for everything. He's framing the whole situation as the ruler's fault. He's basically saying, you started this. From the very beginning, you were just looking for an excuse to come after us. And then he just lays it all out, his side of the story, step by step, and it's all designed to paint them as the innocent victims. It's like, first, you asked about our family. Then, we told you the truth. Then, you demanded we bring our brother. We warned you this could kill our dad. And then you threatened us if we said no. You see what he's doing? It's a masterful defense.
But in this supposedly honest story, Judah says something that's, well, not exactly true. Talking about his youngest brother Benjamin, he says, his full brother is dead, so that he alone is left of his mother. So why the lie? I mean, that dead brother is literally the guy he's talking to. Well, Rashi explains this was pure strategy, just born out of fear. Judah was thinking 3 steps ahead. He was worried that if he admitted that brother was still out there, this powerful ruler would just say, great, go get him and bring him to me too. So it was this split-second decision to just shut that possibility down completely.
So after making his strategic case, Judah completely changes gears. He pivots from logic and accusations to this raw, incredibly powerful emotional appeal, and it's all centered on the grief of his father. He talks about this profound connection between his dad, Jacob, and his youngest son, Benjamin. He says his father's soul is literally bound up with the boy's soul. It's like their lives are completely inseparable. And then he paints this devastating picture. He quotes what his father might say if Benjamin doesn't return. You will send my white head down to Sheol in sorrow. Sheol is like the ancient underworld. It's just a heartbreaking image of a grief that's too much to bear.
And Rashi, he just digs right into the heart of this. He explains that for their father, losing Benjamin wouldn't just be another tragedy. No. So he already thinks his wife Rachel and his son Joseph are dead. So losing Benjamin now, it would feel as if all three of them died on the exact same day. We're talking about a level of compounded, catastrophic trauma that's just unimaginable.
And this all leads us to the climax of this speech. Judah's used logic, he's used threats, he's used emotion. So now he makes one final transformative offer that just changes the entire game. He puts his own life on the line. He says, "Please let your servant remain as a slave to my lord instead of the boy." He offers to trade his own freedom for his brother's. He's willing to take the punishment himself. And this is the pivot point. This is the moment of total transformation. I mean, just think about it for a second. This is the same guy, Judah, who came up with the idea to sell his own brother, Joseph, into slavery all those years ago. And now he's offering to become a slave to save another brother. It's the full circle. His journey to make things right, it's finally complete right here in this moment. So this incredible speech, it's packed with strategy and emotion, but it all leads to this one act of total self-sacrifice. And it really just leaves you thinking, doesn't it? It leaves us with this huge, timeless question. What does it actually take to truly, fully take responsibility for your past?